You think a will is about death, but really, a will is about what happens to the people you love the minute you are not there to answer the phone. Here's the scary part. If you do not have a will, your state has one for you, and it might pick the wrong person to raise your kids, handle your money, and decide what happens to your stuff. Stick with me, because in a few minutes, I am going to reveal the single sentence that can prevent the most common family fight after someone dies. Most people never include it, and it can quietly turn a painful time into a full-blown war. Number 1. What a will really does in plain English. A last will and testament is a legal letter to the world that says this is who gets what, and this is who is in charge. It does 3 big jobs. First, it names the people who inherit your property. That can mean your bank account, your car, your furniture, your jewelry, and family keepsakes. Second, it names an executor. That's the adult you trust to carry out your wishes, pay final bills, and deal with paperwork. Third, if you have minor kids, it lets you name a guardian. That's the person you want to raise them if you are gone. Example: imagine you're a single parent with 1 child, and your closest family is 2 siblings who do not get along. With a will, you can say exactly who raises your child and who manages the money for that child. Without a will, a judge may end up choosing, and your family could end up fighting in court while your child is stuck in the middle. A will is not about being rich, it's about being clear. Number 2. What happens if you die without a will? When you die without a will, it's called dying intestate. That's a fancy way of saying the state decides. Every state has a default plan. It usually sends property to your closest legal relatives in a strict order. Spouse first, then children, then parents, then siblings, and so on. It sounds simple, but real life is not simple.
Example: you live with a long-term partner, but you are not married. You both share bills, and you bought furniture together, maybe even a car. If you die without a will, your partner might get nothing. Your family could inherit instead, even if your partner was the one you intended to protect. Another example: you want to leave money to your best friend who took care of you through everything. Without a will, the law will not care. Your friend is not in the default line. And here is the big one. If you have kids, a judge decides guardianship if there is no clear plan. The court tries to do what is best, but the court does not know your family like you do. Without a will, you are not leaving it to fate. You are leaving it to a legal system that follows a script. Number 3. The probate reality most people never see coming. Probate is the court-supervised process of settling your estate. It is how your property legally moves from your name to someone else. A will does not always avoid probate, but it gives probate direction. If you have no will, probate can still happen, and it can get messier. More paperwork, more delays, more confusion, more chances for someone to challenge what should happen. Example: imagine your family cannot find a list of your accounts. No one knows if you had a life insurance policy, a retirement account, or a second bank account. The executor or court-appointed administrator may spend months just hunting for documents. Meanwhile, your family still has rent, funeral costs, and maybe a mortgage. Also, probate can be public. That means parts of what you owned and who got it can become easier to discover. Many people do not want their personal business exposed. A will does not erase the pain of loss, but it can erase a lot of chaos. Number 4. Guardianship for kids is the heart of the will. If you have minor children, this is the section that matters even more than money.
Your will lets you nominate a guardian, and often a backup guardian too. That nomination is not a magic wand, but it carries serious weight. Judges usually want to follow a fit parent's wishes unless there is a clear reason not to. Example: you have 2 kids, and you know your sister is amazing with them, but she travels a lot. Your best friend is steady, local, and already part of their daily life. Your will can name your best friend as first choice and your sister as the backup. Another example: you want to keep siblings together. Without a clear guardian plan, kids can end up separated if different relatives fight for custody or if one relative can only take one child. A will lets you protect your kids from becoming the prize in an argument. Number 5. The executor role can make or break everything. The executor is the person who becomes the manager of your final wishes. They gather your assets, deal with the court if needed, pay valid debts, file final tax returns when required, and distribute what is left. This job takes time. It takes organization. It takes honesty. Here is a simple way to think about it. Your will is the plan. Your executor is the engine that makes the plan move. Example: if you name an executor who is great emotionally but terrible with paperwork, they might miss deadlines, lose documents, or accidentally create delays. That can cost your family money and stress. Another example: if you name someone who has a conflict, like a person who benefits from the will and also dislikes other beneficiaries, things can turn ugly fast. Pick someone who is steady under pressure, someone who can make phone calls, someone who can follow instructions, and always name a backup executor. Life happens. Number 6. The most common will myths that trap good people. Myth 1. I am young, so I do not need a will. If you are an adult, you have something worth protecting. Your savings, your car, your personal stuff, your digital life, and your people. Myth 2. Everything automatically goes to my spouse. Not always. It depends on state law, what is in your name, and what has beneficiary forms. Myth 3. My family knows what I want. Knowing is not the same as legally being allowed to do it. Example: you tell everyone, if anything happens to me, give my guitar to my nephew. Then you die without a will. That guitar might legally go to someone else, and your nephew might never see it. The family might want to honor your wish, but emotions and money can change behavior. Myth 4. A handwritten note is enough. Some states accept certain handwritten wills, some do not, and even when accepted, unclear language can cause fights. The goal is not to have a will. The goal is to have a clear, valid will. Number 7. Step by step, how to create a simple will. Step 1. List the people you want to protect and the people you want to leave things to. Write down full names. Think about spouses, kids, stepkids, parents, siblings, and close friends. Step 2. Make a simple inventory of what you own and what you owe. You do not need perfect numbers, just categories: home, car, bank accounts, retirement accounts, personal items, and any debts. Step 3. Choose your executor and a backup. Pick someone responsible. Confirm they are willing to do it. That quick conversation matters. Step 4. If you have minor kids, choose a guardian and a backup guardian. Think about values, location, stability, and the relationship they already have with your kids. Step 5. Decide who gets what. For many people, it is simple. Spouse gets most things, kids inherit later, or split evenly among children. Step 6. Add the detail that prevents fights. This is the part I promised. Include a sentence that explains how you want personal property handled when people want the same thing. Example language in plain English: if 2 or more people want the same item, my executor will decide fairly, and their decision is final. That one idea, written clearly, can stop months of arguing over items that are not even worth much money, but carry emotional heat. Step 7. Follow your state's signing rules. Many states require witnesses. Some allow notarization to make it smoother. If you do not follow the rules, the will can be challenged. Step 8. Store it safely and tell the right people where it is. A will that no one can find is a will that cannot help. This is the core: simple, clear, and legal. Number 8. The stuff a will does not control. This part surprises people. Some things pass outside the will because they have their own rules. Life insurance usually goes to the named beneficiary on the policy.
Retirement accounts often go to the named beneficiary on the account. Some bank accounts can be set up to transfer on death to a named person. If you own a home with someone in certain ways, the home may pass to the other owner automatically. Example, you write in your will, "My sister gets my life insurance," but your life insurance form still lists your ex from 10 years ago. The form usually wins. That is how people get shocked. So when you create a will, you also want to review beneficiary forms. Your will and your forms should tell the same story. A will is a big piece of the plan. It is not the only piece. Number 9. Blended families, second marriages, and the surprise problem. This is where things can get emotional fast. If you have a spouse and kids from a prior relationship, you need to be extra clear.
Example, a parent dies and leaves everything to the new spouse, assuming the spouse will later give something to the kids. Then the spouse remarries, changes their plan, or has different priorities. The kids end up with nothing. Not because anyone was evil at first, just because life kept moving. A will can set rules. It can direct specific gifts to children. It can balance fairness. Another example, you want to treat stepchildren like your own. Without a will, stepchildren may not inherit under default laws in many cases. A will is how you make your real family match the legal definition of family. Number 10. Digital life, pets, and the little things that matter a lot. Modern life is not just houses and bank accounts. It is passwords, photos, crypto accounts, online businesses, and social media. A will can reference your wishes for digital assets, and you can also keep a separate list of accounts and instructions in a secure place. Example, your family wants your photos, but they are locked behind a phone passcode and two-step verification. Without a plan, those memories can be lost. Pets matter too. A will can say who should take your dog or cat, and you can even leave money to help with care in some cases, depending on your state. And then there are the sentimental items, the watch your father gave you, the quilt your grandmother made, the letters in a box. These are the things families fight over when grief is high. A will lets you choose meaning over conflict. Number 11. How often to update your will and when it must change. A will is not a one-and-done document. Update it when big life events happen. Marriage, divorce, a new baby, a move to another state, a major change in assets, a death in the family, a relationship shift that changes trust.
Example, you wrote a will at 25. It names your brother as executor and leaves everything to your parents. Now you are 40, married, with kids, and you own a home. That old will might still be valid, but it no longer fits your life. A good rule, review it every few years, and always after a major life change. Also, do not just scribble changes on the paper. Many states have rules about how changes must be made. If you want changes, create a proper update. Clarity is kindness. Number 12. DIY will or lawyer, and how to choose safely. Some people can create a simple will with a reputable service and careful attention to their state rules. Other people should seriously consider a lawyer. If you have a blended family, if you own a business, if you have a child with special needs, if you expect conflict, if you own property in multiple states, if you have a complicated situation. Example, two siblings do not speak, and you know they will argue about everything. That is a sign you need extra strong language and structure. Another example, you want to leave money in a way that protects a teenager from spending it all at 18. That can require planning beyond a basic will. A will should fit your life like a seatbelt fits your body. Not too loose, not too tight. Built for your situation. Number 13. The two lists that make your will actually work. A will is the legal plan, but your family also needs the practical plan. Create two simple lists. List 1 is your important contacts list: executor, backup executor, guardian choices, your employer, your bank, your insurance agent, and your closest relatives. List 2 is your where things are list, where the will is stored, where key papers are, and where to find account logins if you keep them in a password manager. Example:
If your executor cannot find your life insurance policy or your retirement account, your family might wait months for money that should have helped immediately. A clean list can turn a scavenger hunt into a one-day task. Number 14. The money timing trap that can hurt your kids. Even if your will says your kids inherit, a minor usually cannot directly control inherited money. That money often ends up managed by an adult or a court process until the child becomes an adult. This is where many families get blindsided. Example: you leave everything equally to your two kids, ages 10 and 12. Without extra planning, a court could require extra steps to manage the money, and the rules might feel slow and expensive. A simple will can still work, but it helps to include clear instructions about who should manage money for the kids and how it should be used for their care. The goal is to avoid a situation where your child has money on paper but cannot benefit from it when they actually need it. Number 15. The personal property plan that stops small fights from becoming big wars. People rarely fight the hardest over the biggest assets. They fight over the stuff with memories. Add a simple personal property plan that explains how sentimental items should be handled. Example: you can say, "I want my kids to choose items one at a time, taking turns until everything is chosen." Or, "My executor will create a fair drawing system for items that multiple people want." This turns emotional chaos into a clear process. It keeps people from arguing in the living room while grief is still fresh. Number 16. The funeral and final wishes section people forget. Your will is not always the best place for detailed funeral plans because wills can be read after decisions must be made. But you can still include a simple direction and then keep details in a separate document that is easy to find. Example: I want a simple service, and I want my family to prioritize low-cost options. Or, I want to be buried near my parents. You can also name who has authority to handle these decisions, so multiple relatives do not pull in different directions. This is not about being controlling. It is about reducing stress for the people who will be grieving. Number 17. The letter to your family that is not legal, but is powerful. Alongside your will, write a short letter, not a legal document, just a human one. Explain your values, explain why you made certain choices, express love, give guidance. Example: if you split items in a way that looks uneven, a letter can explain the reason. Maybe one child already received major help earlier, maybe another child has special needs. A calm explanation can prevent a story from forming that is not true. The will handles the law. The letter handles the emotions. Number 18. The emergency folder that saves weeks of stress. Create one folder, physical or digital. Put copies of key documents there: ID, insurance policies, property deeds, marriage or divorce documents, and a simple list of accounts. Label it clearly. Example: your executor should not have to guess where your car title is or where your mortgage paperwork is stored. When documents are easy to find, it often means bills get paid faster and assets transfer faster. Think of it like leaving a map instead of leaving a mystery. Number 19. The hidden risk of outdated beneficiaries. Many people update their will but forget to update beneficiary forms. That mismatch can create heartbreak. Example: you get divorced, remarry, and update your will to leave everything to your new spouse, but your retirement account still lists your ex as the beneficiary. Your will can say one thing, but the form can still send money somewhere else.
Build a simple habit. Every time you review your will, review your beneficiaries too. Make sure the whole plan tells one clear story. Number 20. The surprise debt and final bills reality check. When someone dies, bills do not magically stop. There can be medical bills, credit card balances, rent, mortgage payments, and final taxes depending on the situation. A will does not erase debts, but it helps your executor handle them correctly and legally. Example: a family member might feel pressure to pay a bill from their own pocket right away. In many cases, bills should be handled through the estate process, not by a grieving relative personally taking on responsibility. Clear instructions and a calm plan can protect your family from panic decisions. Number 21. The who gets the house conversation nobody wants but everyone needs. If you own a home, you should be extremely clear about what you want to happen. Do you want it sold and money divided? Do you want one person to keep it? Do you want a spouse to stay in it? Example: 3 siblings inherit a house together. One wants to sell, one wants to rent it out, one wants to live in it. Without clear guidance, the house can become a battlefield. With clear direction, your executor can follow your plan and avoid endless debates. A home is not just an asset, it is an emotional landmark. That makes clarity even more important. Number 22. The real reason wills get challenged and how to reduce the risk. Most will fights do not start because the will is evil. They start because someone feels shocked, excluded, or suspicious. You can reduce the risk by keeping things clean and reasonable.
Example: if you plan to leave someone out, your estate plan might be stronger when it is carefully prepared, with clear legal steps and proper signing, and when you keep records that show you were thinking clearly and acting freely. This is one reason some people choose professional help when they expect conflict. Your goal is to make your wishes easy to prove and hard to twist. Number 23. The simple review day habit that keeps everything updated. Make one calendar habit: a review day. Once a year, spend 30 minutes checking 4 things: your will, your beneficiaries, your executor and guardian choices, your emergency folder. Example: if your chosen guardian moves across the country or your executor becomes too busy, you can adjust before it becomes a problem. Small maintenance now prevents giant problems later. You do not need to be wealthy to need a will. You just need to be someone who loves someone. Because the real purpose of a will is not dividing money, it is reducing confusion, preventing fights, and protecting the people you would protect yourself if you could. So here is the question I want to end with. What is the biggest reason you have not made a will yet? Feeling too young? Feeling overwhelmed? Or not knowing where to start?